Hello and welcome to another episode of Tales of the Uncharted Territories.
I'm Kaki.
I'm Kay.
We are the hosts of So Farscape, and once again, in between episodes of our favourite show, we're regaling you with some fan fiction. And since last time, it occurred to me to actually go to one of the old forums and see if I could find like fanfics that were written
Just after the episode aired?
Yeah, or at least like intended to be slotted in between.
Yes.
I'm so happy, Kay. Like, I found so many. This is...
Oh, fantastic.
I should have figured this out from the... We could have been doing this from the start.
Yes. I mean, live and learn.
That's true.
Yeah. Today's story is by Blueaeryn, and it is coming up on the end of the year, so outside you can hear the peacekeepers laying their regular assault on the peace and quiet here in the Netherlands.
Good. This is... Yes, for New Year's it is traditional, although I think now sort of banned.
The tradition is kind of fading.
To do fireworks, and that means that...
In the month leading up to New Year's or a little bit earlier in certain areas...
Children and other vile miscreants get their hands on ill-begotten stashes
of fireworks and set them off. So if you hear any weird background noises which are sounding like there's a peacekeeper command carrier laying siege to a well-known and loved creature of space,
wow.
Leviathan, thank you, that's the word I was looking for.
Oh, that's grim.
Then, that's what it's going on.
And if you don't hear it, it's because our microphones are really good. Thank you. Thank you, Patreon supporters.
So, yes, the story is by Blueaeryn. Now I'm imagining, like, you know, we've seen Aaron dressed as Scorpius. Now I'm expecting Aaron done up as Zahn. I mean, we've seen a very different Zahn in a recent episode.
In an upcoming episode, we're recording this one after we've recorded.
Sorry.
Yes. No, but it's
spoilers.
It's okay. Yeah.
I kind of want to see Claudia Black like that now.
Oh, do you know what I want to see? Claudia Black in what's she called? The other woman on Gianna yes. Makeup.
Oh, that would be cool.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
The wild hair and the. Okay, who do you want to see in Dargo makeup then?
Oh, no, I was going to say I want to see Ben Browder as Zahn, but.
Oh,
I mean, Dargo makeup, it would just be like, you know, another eyes and mouth in Dargo. I mean, like, he does so much acting through his eyes and mouth expression. It's fantastic how he does that. Like, having anybody else do that would just be kind of weird.
Unless it was Rigel.
Oh, yeah. Well, it'd be interesting to see What's-Face having a shot at that. Wayne Pygram. I mean, I'd like to see Wayne Pygram do Dargo.
Oh, wow. Can you, like, if he'd been cast as Dargo would have, like, arrow caps on his cheekbones.
Well.
Okay. She Haunts My Soul, Blueaeryn, originally published in, 2004. But I've been impressed with how well these, they're called episode fillers, have kept the spoilers under control, unlike some of us.
It is set after a natural election, and it is, spoilers are up to season 4, natural election.
Okay, very quick, before we start on that.
Yes, air horn.
No, yeah. Do you remember what happened in natural election?
Oh, well, I assume there was the election, which this was episode... 406.
Yeah. I know. This was a mean test, but it was one of the forgotten episodes, as in I forgot that I saw it when I got the DVDs.
That was the John Weird Mind Stuff episode, right?
Oh, yeah. That's the John Weird Mind Stuff episode.
Well, one of the... I believe my words at the beginning of the episode were, it's going to be one of those. Was that the one?
Oh, no.
Oh.
No, that's the one that's upcoming.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Okay, so now...
No.
What happened in natural election?
It's the one with the plant.
The plant.
The space plant.
Oh, that one. Yes.
Right? It just slips out of your brain, right?
It kind of does. Oh, well.
Okay. So since we're recording these, after the fact, before the... we'll
look it up. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, so, yes.
Yes, I'm going to have to be very careful that I'm now not on Team K, but on Kaki, that I have to, actually... stop from saying spoilers, because this is not something that comes up often, but since we record these episodes usually about a month before they air, especially if you catch me on the socials or on the Telegram group, then I have to occasionally be very careful about not giving spoilers when I have already seen stuff which other people who are on Team K have not. So I'm just slightly ahead.
Isn't it?
It is totally.
It makes you appreciate all the people who do it for you, when we're in the chat as well.
I totally appreciate that.
Right?
I love how everybody is very conscientious about trying to keep things safe for Kay.
Keep Kay pure.
Yes. So, She Haunts My Soul by Blueaeryn.
John wasn't sure which was worse, not knowing where she was or having her so close and not being able to touch her. It was his decision. She would have to come to him, willingly, a first in their relationship. Wow. But his pride forced him to push her away. There were just so many unanswered questions, and she wasn't volunteering any information.
Erin's son was back on Moya. He could feel her presence in every aspect of the ship. Her energy, her essence permeated through every crevice, and it haunted him. Not in the same way it did when she was gone. No, this was worse.
Standing in the corner on command, he watched her fiddle with the controls on the propulsion board. She was turned from him, and her long hair hung loosely down her back. He had never seen her hair this long, and John longed to run his fingers through it.
Okay, so now I'm wondering the propulsion board, so we have command, and
yes,
there are consoles on command, but pilot flies the thing. So it's anything that happens here, like in one of those old-fashioned steam machine rooms where you've got this big thing where you're just like giving this lever of thing, and then that tells pilot what you want him to do, and then pilots decide if that's what actually happens. You know what I mean? I can imagine that's just how it works.
Yeah.
It kind of shows you the information of where we're going and what's happening, but anything you put in is just like a request or a suggestion at best, and up to pilot how those commands are interpreted.
Oh, that's interesting, because I was thinking, there must be some sort of override, but then why would you need the control collar? Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if it's... I mean, it probably isn't so literal as in just displaying to pilot what you want him to do. It's like...
It's probably much more integrated. It's
poking him in the side, or suddenly he has a taste of ice cream in his mouth. Left. Okay, got it.
My vonks feel a bit inflamed. Anyway, back to the story.
Yeah.
It would be so easy to let it go, forget all the hurt, and just take her into his arms. Did he really care where she'd been? If he were truthful with himself, he would have to admit that he didn't. It was the other things that bothered him the most, and at the top of the list was the baby.
She didn't trust him, and that hurt. She had gone to others about the baby before him, and he felt out of the loop. It was almost like having his other self back on the ship. He felt inadequate, like he wasn't worthy. After all, she had given herself to the other John, and held herself back with him.
He wished he could go back and take her up on her offer to release fluid levels. But again, this stubborn pride had gotten in the way. When she had offered in the manner she did, John had convinced himself he didn't want Erin's charity. When she came to him, he wanted her to do so because she loved and wanted him, not just to release the tension that swirled around them.
Oh, that offer was before he got twinned.
I think so,
yeah.
Yes.
He would have at least had a memory, a moment frozen in time of her in his arms, sharing the pleasure of each other. Now she had memories with the other him, and all he had was dreams of her. In his mind, she came to him with open arms and words of love that she wanted him, and she never left.
But those were dreams. In reality, the coin flipped in her favor and she left. Now she was back with regret in her heart and tears in her eyes. When she told him that she didn't see a distinction anymore between himself and the other John, he almost cried out with joy. But then her words hit him. She didn't know who the father of her child was. It hurt, and he couldn't deny it.
It wasn't fair. The other him had her love and the joy of her body, and now some other faceless man could be the one that fathered the child within her, a child that should have been his in every way.
Now, it's an interesting take on here that we're having here.
Yeah.
Because, this kind of leans back to Look at the Princess, where he has the opposite situation with him, where,
yes.
He knows he has a kid, and he knows that there will be someone else who will be fathering that. He fathered it, but will be a father to that child. So, interesting.
He's got a kind of an old-fashioned sense of fatherhood in the sort of genetic sense.
Yeah. Aaron twisted to her left to reach control, and John drew in a deep breath. Hot need coiled inside him.
Ooh.
He felt his heart kick up a beat, and John scooted back the chair he was sitting in and walked from the room.
Ooh, now I think more Mivons are getting inflamed.
We've all had those moments.
Yeah, exactly. You've got a little stepping that you're going to... As he turned back to look at Erin, he noticed she was staring at him. She flashed a small smile at him, and John gave her a stony glare. Her smile faded, and pain crossed her face as she turned back to her task.
It ate John to know he caused her pain, but at some point he had to start thinking of himself. His poor, battered heart was bruised and scarred from her, and he didn't know if he could take much longer. She had left him before. What was stopping her from doing it again?
If Erin left again, John didn't know if he could take it. Staying away, feigning indifference was his defense mechanism and his only method of survival.
He had learned how to survive in the past half cycle, first on Elac and then at the hands of Grazer. Yes, Grazer.
Oof.
Thoughts of Aeryn had kept him sane in that time, and now thoughts of Aeryn were doing just the opposite, for they were slowing, driving him insane.
A little typo.
Yes.
A shuddering breath coursed through him as John entered his quarters. He could still feel her, even though 2 tiers separated them. She was up there, he was down here, and all he wanted was to be with her, to feel her long fingers stroking him and telling him everything would be okay, and she would never leave him again.
He needed off this boat for a while, away from Aeryn. Maybe a quick trip into transport port, a few laps around the stars, and a chance to clear his head. And didn't Pilot say there was a commerce planet nearby?
Decision made. John walked out of his quarters and ran into Chiana. "Where are you off to, old man?" Chiana asked with a smile.
"I'm getting off this boat for a while," John said, smiling. "Want to come?"
"You know it." Chiana took his hand and dragged John down the passageway. "I hear the Commerce Planet nearby has some cool reality games. I'm going to pick up a couple." Oh. I wonder if... Okay, so let me see if I want to phrase this respectfully. I didn't read a lot of fanfic when I was watching Farscape, and I know a lot of people did. Yeah. Clearly, like the denizens of this wonderful forum must have done, and they were writing fanfics to each other. I've noticed that all of them are like Soup's emo.
I mean, isn't that kind of like the staple of fanfic, period?
I guess.
I mean, I've not read a lot of any fanfic, like well, definitely not Farscape, because I've like been staying away from that, but pretty much any time that you come across fanfic, it's like, fairly emo.
Yeah. Or it's written for sex weirdos.
Well, we do approve of sex weirdos.
Yes, thank you for saying it in the proper Scottish accent, yes. We celebrate...
Scottish? I thought it was Welsh.
No, this is Scots. Welsh is a much more enunciated kind of accent.
Right, so sex weirdos, yes.
Sex weirdos.
Which we approve of, because we are sexually liberated on this podcast.
Yes, we are. Mivonks be free.
That sounds like Free Mivonks. That sounds like an interesting movie about...
Actually, yes, it does. That would be the documentary about Leviathan reproduction.
Captured Leviathan being finally set free by a young peacekeeper boy who is helping.
Oh, yes. Please let that be true. And then cast Lani Tupu as the sort of wise sage who teaches him like a little bit of his ancestral language. Oh, God. See, this is the kind of fanfic that we're into.
Now, yes, we should really totally have that.
But hey, I really enjoyed this. She Haunts My Soul by Blueaeryn. You can find it on Terra Firma Scapers. As always, the link is going to be in the description. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week with season 4, episode 7, which is Don Quixote.
Don Quixote. Thank you very much.
It's a weird one.
It's one of the weird ones. Yeah, thank you.
lot to look forward to. I'm Kaki.
I'm Kay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
She gives me a Woody.
That's the one.
That's...